Okay, you're sitting down in an interrogation room. First thing you don't want to do is try to grab the cop's gun, because that's a good way to get them to thump on you pretty hard. Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer. I mean B-O-A-R-D, not B-O-R-E-D. And I'm coming to you with my pearl handle pistol cufflinks, along with our content genius, Michael Rivers, a moniker he wears proudly because we have built this thing up like crazy. And he's the man behind the plan. He's the man behind everything I say, pretty much. And but it's a labor of love because it's a father and son project. Reacting today to the craziest moments in interrogation. But before we get to that, this is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com is a very effective way to remotely do business. If you have a document that you need signed and time is of the essence, or if distance is preventing a deal getting done, go to eSign.com. You download the app, you get 3 free signatures a month. It's an excellent way to remotely do business. I use it all the time for all kinds of different documents. You know, I do some injury work, and so I'm able to have people sign medical releases. I'm able to have people sign power of attorney or just good old-fashioned retainer agreements. eSign.com, a very effective way to remotely and quickly do business. Now, one of the key things about an interrogation is that it's knowing an involuntary waiver of your Miranda rights, because most of these interrogations are done in custody. People say, well, I wasn't Miranda's. They didn't read me my rights. Well, it doesn't matter if they read you your rights if you're not in custody, number one. Number two, if you are in custody and there's interrogation, they must read you your rights. But even if they read you your rights, it still has to be voluntary. So, for example, if you're, on meth and you haven't slept or eaten in days, and they promise you some Kentucky Fried Chicken if you give a statement, that is depriving you of food and using food as a bait to get you to give a statement. Wouldn't be cool. That happened actually in one of my very first cases. My client had been strung out on drugs for days. He had 11 different charges in 3 different counties. He was just all messed up, and they bribed him with Kentucky Fried Chicken if he gave a statement, and we were successful in keeping it out. So what's the remedy if it's illegally obtained? If you have a statement that's illegally obtained, the remedy is suppression of that statement so the state can't use it in their case in chief. However, if your client testifies, they can use it in cross-examination, which just sucks. They shouldn't be able to do that. The origin of this is Dr. Insanity. Okay, you're sitting down in an interrogation room. First thing you don't want to do is try to grab the cop's gun, because that's a good way to get them to thump on you pretty hard.
Interrogation.
Jesus Christ. Get right into it.
Hold some of the most horrifying, saddening, and life-changing moments in history.
And what do I say about interrogations? I say this right here. Stop self-snitching. You don't have to give a statement. You have the absolute right to remain silent. And guess what? If you observe that right, nobody can use that silence against you. It's your 100% guaranteed right, as guaranteed by the 5th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, and most states have ratified that in their own state constitutions.
Here are some of the craziest interrogation moments of all time. Starting out with Thomas Robinson, a 27-year-old facing life in prison after shooting a 17-year-old boy. But Thomas wasn't going down easily. In fact, he was determined to make the cops' life as difficult as he could in the most dangerous ways imaginable.
Most cops have a holster that has a lock on it, and only they know how to get their gun out.
Policeman moves to handcuff him. Thomas leans over and glances at the holster on the cop's waist, where he gets an idea that could end in death for
I have a good idea. Why don't I try to grab the cop's gun?
him and the officer.
Oh, kill me is what he's saying. That's another thing that people do often, is called suicide by cop. Try to make some kind of outrageous and dangerous conduct so that they draw down on you.
Yeah, I'm good. You couldn't get it.
Thomas made a leap for the cop's gun, but due to safety features built into the holster, he wasn't able to get it out.
Only the cop can get that out.
After a short struggle, 2 more cops entered the room with tasers to subdue him, and he was eventually restrained without further issue. This obviously just looks like a case where the suspect wanted to escape and was prepared to do so by any means necessary. But Take another listen to what he's saying as he's fighting with the cops. If he was really trying to escape, it's unlikely he'd be repeating the words "kill me" from the get-go. Instead, it's possible that Thomas was so terrified of his sentence and the position he was in that he made the radical move to scare the officers.
So one of the things that is taken into consideration when they determine bail and some other conditions is the seriousness of the offense. And why is that? It's because when somebody's staring life in prison without the possibility of parole, or looking at the death penalty, it's, their life is over. At least that's how they see it. Their life is done. And so some people, would rather commit suicide than be taken into custody by the cops. Others, would like to have the cops kill them, So it's really sad when you really think about it, because how desperate do you have to be to want to die? Pretty desperate.
In hopes that they'd shoot him and spare him from what's to come. Bringing a firearm into an interrogation room is an incredibly foolish idea.
That almost seems, just like normal, but guess what happens if you have a gun in an interrogation room? Whether you're a suspect or a cop, it just seems stupid to do that.
And the majority of police departments forbid it for the safety of the detectives. But it seems this Las Vegas Police Department also forgot about that rule and come incredibly close to seeing the consequences.
So imagine being that cop and having this guy try to grab your gun, especially if you're female, because that guy's probably a lot stronger than you are, or as strong. But the cops have, I've said this all along, cops have a shitty fucking job. Because what's your job? Your job is to take a guy off the street who really doesn't want to be taken into your custody and who's demonstrated violence in the past.
This man convicted of killing a 2-year-old boy actually managed to retrieve.
First of all, if you're convicted of killing a 2-year-old boy, you probably didn't have the benefit of a self-defense theory in your case.
Retrieve the gun from the detective's holster, resulting in a mad scramble to get it back off him. It took.
Some firearms actually can only be fired by the person whose fingerprint are registered with the gun.
3 separate officers and multiple punches to the head to reclaim the firearm. Somehow, nobody was hurt, but Ryan Waller wasn't so lucky, as his story ends in a truly horrifying way after he was brought in for interrogation with a bullet still stuck in his head.
You're telling me they shot you with a revolver in your eye?
Yes.
Is it a BB gun?
No, it was a real gun, man. It was just a revolver.
They shot you in the eye. You wouldn't be talking to me right now. It was most likely you'd be dead.
But little did.
Cops, like I said, do have a tough job, but they also have a limited education. And, the medical training that they have, although it does seem sort of obvious that if you got shot in the eye that you'd be dead, but it doesn't always happen. They have some probably EMT training, emergency medical technician, which is what I had when I drove an ambulance when I was in college. So it's very, very minimal medical training.
Police officers know he was actually telling the truth. As while 18-year-old Ryan was being mocked by detectives, he was suffering from a gunshot to the head.
Fucking, I hate that. I hate that mocking. It's so immature. That's why I think all cops should have a 4-year degree. What they are asked, and they should be paid more. But what they're asked to do on a daily basis is to go in and analyze situations and make decisions about violence, about medical, about all kinds of different situations. And they should have more psychological training, or psychology training about human behavior and this immature bullshit when you have somebody mocking another person. It's kind of like that one video we did where the defense lawyer or the prosecutor walks by the defense table and says, "Oh, I hope you like prison food." There's just, it's unprofessional.
Experiencing a brain bleed that could end his life at any moment.
I just want to go back to sleep and try to go back to bed.
You're not going back to bed.
On the 23rd of December 2006, two men broke into Ryan Waller's house looking for revenge for a past argument. Ryan heard the noise at the door, but when he went to investigate, a hand reached inside and shot him twice in the eye. The two men, Richie and Larry,
Couple of really good-looking guys. Look at these guys.
entered his house and shot Ryan's girlfriend Heather, killing her instantly. By some miracle, 18-year-old Ryan survived and was able to talk to police when they arrived hours later. Given he'd just been shot in the head, he told them he had no idea what happened, but instead of being taken straight to the hospital, he was taken to the police station and interrogated for the longest.
So, if he would have died in their custody, first thing they do is an autopsy, because he did claim that he got shot in the eye. And if they denied him medical care, that is just reprehensible.
Hour of his life. Before the interview started, Ryan was left in the room alone. He squirmed in pain for 20 minutes straight, and worse yet, he was handcuffed to the desk and unable to scream for help.
Man.
Ryan is obviously not okay, but the detectives begin the interrogation anyway.
You know why you're down here, Ryan? You have no idea why you're down here? Okay. I don't know what happened, okay? So I'm going to read you something.
He clearly has something going on with his eye. And he told you what happened, told him that he got shot. The first thing before you even get into an interrogation, because he's in your custody, you're responsible for him. Before you even get into questioning him, get his eye checked out. Because you're not going to see a brain bleed. All he's going to do is just go to sleep. And would that be a denial of your constitutional right to health care? It's a 1983, I think it's 42 U.S. Code 1983, which ensures that you have your constitutional rights protected.
Make sure you understand your rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. What's the highest grade?
People can look like they're fine, but all of a sudden something inside of them, like his brain, is not fine.
You went through school.
I don't know. I just want to go home.
Oh, you're not going to go home right now. What's the highest grade that you completed?
B?
No, not grade as in letter grade. I'm asking, did you graduate high school?
No.
Do you know how to read and write, Ryan?
Yeah?
The way the detective is talking to Ryan implies that he knows something is wrong. He's raising his voice slightly, slowing down, and talking in very simplified language just as you would a child. Yet even with the massive red mark around Ryan's face and the dazed responses he's giving, the detective still decides that nothing is wrong and continues questioning him.
That's why you have the lack of education, the lack of maturity, the lack of insight. I just want to get my guy and then fucking put him in a cell. He still has a responsibility to somebody that's in his care. Period.
Do you have a girlfriend? No? You know a girl named Heather?
The one that lives there right now?
I guess, I don't know. If her name's Heather, what's her last name?
I don't know which name she's trying to use as her last one. She's trying to have a real last as her nickname, so I don't know.
What nickname does she go by?
She probably wants the last name, Kyman.
Kyman? How old is Heather?
16 or 17.
What happened to your face?
I don't know.
You told the officer just a few minutes ago that someone hit you. Do you remember who hit you?
I think it was Heather.
Why would Heather hit you?
It was an accident. I forgot why.
What was an accident?
Heather's last name?
No. What was an accident?
Heather hitting me.
What happened for her to hit you in the eye like that?
She just hit me on accident. She was giving Christina a head.
She was what?
She was helping Christina with her hair or something. I don't know.
Who's Christina?
She was on the couch.
Christina's on the couch?
Ryan and Heather lived with another person whose name isn't public. There's a possibility that it's the Christina he's referring to here, but either way, nobody else was home at any point of the night of the attack.
And he also is lethargic and is almost slurring his words like he's drunk. That shows an indication of some kind of brain involvement. And if you have a little more training, and I know it's a tough order to require cops to have more training because we don't have enough cops the way it is, but the stakes are so high. And you see so many times where cops will make bad moves based upon scant information.
Ryan is clearly suffering traumatic brain injury, and it's astonishing that the detective isn't connecting the dots.
It's not astonishing. It's what happens when you have a 2-year education and 0 medical training.
Even if it was just blunt force like Ryan is telling him, he still should be checked out by a doctor given how he's acting. But of course, that's not how it happens. Instead, it somehow gets even more messed up.
What happened last night?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I really don't. I just want to go to sleep and go to sleep.
Who was in the house when you went to sleep?
Christina and Heather.
Christina and Heather.
Mm,
And Christina was on the couch?
Heather was.
Heather was on the couch. You told me Christina was on the couch just a minute ago.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I really don't. I just want to go and go to sleep.
The other thing that happens when you have a traumatic brain injury is irritability. And because you can't process information and people get frustrated. And that's probably a little bit what's going on here.
Man.
All right, you're not going to go anywhere. Do you know what happened in your house last night?
Why, what happened?
I don't know what happened. You're all beat up. So tell me what happened.
I don't know. I just want to go to sleep, man.
There's a dead girl in your living room.
She's dead?
Yes.
Heather? The girl on the couch is dead?
I don't know if she's on the couch. She's dead.
Well, these people came over, Richie and his dad, with shoot and arrow, bow and darts. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They hit me and her with those. That's it. And Heather wasn't there. And Eric wasn't there. It was just me and Heather.
And then what happened?
And that's it. Richie and his dad tried to break in through the back.
Richie and Dad? His dad?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Richie?
I don't know.
Well, you obviously know him. You know his name by
He used
Richie.
to live there.
Was he a roommate of yours?
He used to be.
They hit you?
Yeah.
Now it's Richie that hit you, not Heather?
No, Richie and his dad.
Why?
Because they were trying to get their stuff. I don't know why.
And they had some kind of bow and arrows?
They each had 2 revolvers and they didn't let off any shells.
Okay, you just said they had bow and arrows. Now they have revolvers?
That's what I meant.
So, I mean, you can tell he's kind of confused, and he's struggling.
They had revolvers.
They have revolvers?
Yes.
And then what happened?
And then they shot us with those.
They shot both of you?
Yeah.
Where'd they shoot you at?
I got shot in the eye.
You got shot in the eye
I think so.
with a revolver.
I think. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And clearly there's an injury to his face and his eye. And how that doesn't get any kind of medical treatment is just beyond me. But he's just wanting to get to the bottom of things or get an admission out of this guy because they don't, a lot of times cops just don't give a shit what happened. They just want to get their admission from whoever's in front of them, and we'll see you later.
I don't know.
Then what happened?
I don't know.
You don't know a lot, Ryan.
I don't, man. I really don't.
I'd like to see this detective try and articulate himself anywhere near as Ryan is in this situation. He's managed to recount the exact sequence of events as well as the perpetrators' names with the revolver bullet still in his brain.
But he's not buying, the cop is not buying the fact that he was shot. Because he said, what did he say before? He said, if you were shot, you'd be dead. Secondly, he's not believing his story because his story is shifting. And his story is shifting around a little bit because he's confused and injured, really injured.
It does sound like an unbelievable story, and that's probably why the cop is essentially laughing at him by now. But that still doesn't excuse any part of what's going on. He's obviously distressed, in pain, and needs to go to the hospital. But he's still more than half an hour away from any form of salvation.
Ryan, why don't you tell me what really happened there? Because I don't believe...
I really don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know. I can tell you anything, I swear.
Well, I want you to tell me the truth. That's all I want from you.
Richie and his dad came there. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why, but they put me in sleeping hold. And, like, they put me in sleeping hold with the arrows and shit. Like, I lived through that crap.
You're all over the board here, number one. You're saying bows and arrows, you're saying revolvers, and you're saying some other thing. And you're saying they shot you in the eye. Okay? They shot you with a revolver in your eye.
Yes.
You know, and it does seem kind of fantastical that you could be shot in the eye and still survive. However, if you kind of look up crazy, violent brain injuries and where people have survived, I read of one instance where a guy had a metal pole that he was a manufacturing accident. His name is Phineas Gage. It's very famous, where it went through his skull. His whole personality changed. He survived, and his whole personality changed after that.
And that's
Is it a BB gun?
No, it was a real gun, man. It was just a
If they
revolver.
shot you in the eye with a revolver, you wouldn't be talking to me right now.
The mocking nature of the interview, it's like, okay, he just told him he was shot in the eye. Don't you think you should get him checked out? I mean, and what skin is it off your nose to get him checked out?
Most likely you be dead.
That's what I thought too, man. I really don't know. I really don't know, and I just want to go back to sleep and try to go back to bed.
The last thing you want to let this kid do is go to sleep.
You're not going back to bed. Okay? That's not going to happen. What happened to Heather?
Heather got shot
Where did she get shot?
inside the face once.
She got shot inside of the face?
Mm-hmm.
How close were you to her when she got shot in the face?
It was after I got shot, so I didn't even hear anything.
So you got shot first?
Uh-huh.
And what happened? Did you call 911?
Uh-uh.
Did you see if she was alive?
She was sleeping still, and that's it. I just let her sleep.
She got shot in the side of the face and you let
See, he's not making any sense.
her sleep?
Yes.
This does not make sense, Ryan.
I know, I didn't mean to, man. I'm sorry. I didn't know she was passing out. That's because I got shot wrong once, too, and I was gonna pass out.
Okay, this is now, not before. You're saying right now you've been shot
Yes.
in the eye
Yes.
with a revolver.
Yes.
All right. Ryan, you need to start telling me the truth because your story doesn't make sense.
I'm trying, man. I don't...
He's got an injury to his fucking face. He's got information that he got shot. Now, maybe he's lying. Okay, so take him to the fucking hospital, let them do an MRI or a CT scan or whatever, and look and see if there's an injury. And guess what you get if there is no other injury and it's not consistent with that. You get one of two things. Either you get confirmation that it actually is what the interviewee is saying, or you get a lie and you can use that later. You know, oh, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You know, you just you got punched in the face.
I don't know.
What happened with you and Heather last night?
Her dad came and shot the house.
And shot her.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad shot her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do?
I tried to go back to sleep.
After you've been shot
Mm-hmm.
in the eye,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't know enough to call 911.
Mm-mm.
Ryan, look at me. Ryan,
Yes. I don't know, man. I really don't
why
know.
did you shoot Heather, Ryan?
I didn't shoot Heather. She was already shot once by her brother, I swear.
Richie.
Yes.
Richie shot his own sister.
Yes, I swear. That's it.
Sit down.
Not me.
And you've been shot in the eye.
Yes.
Put your legs down. Put your legs down. Bring your face closer.
Oh, my head hurts.
Okay.
An EMT certificate is what most cops have, and it really is just basic first aid, essentially. You learn CPR, you learn airway breathing, circulation, basically you learn how to set a hair traction splint. I don't know if they, it's been a while since I've done it, so I'm not sure if it's exactly the same. But you learn basic first aid techniques. You learn how to bandage people and basically just get somebody stabilized before you take them into the ER. You don't have any training to assess whether or not somebody's actually got a gunshot. Although one would think it'd be kind of obvious.
Okay. Yeah, be right back.
Finally, the detective at least considers the fact that Ryan might be in some form of physical distress. He leaves the room to ask for an ambulance and returns momentarily to try and get a few more details about the shooting. Ryan clarifies that Heather isn't related to Richie or his dad, and that he's got no idea why they attacked him that evening. 10 minutes later, the fire department arrives to take a look at Ryan's injury.
And he's acting like he has a serious head injury, which would make sense.
What's your
You guys
name?
confirm?
Brian.
Yeah, we'll take them.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's
we
like
can
that.
tell. Did that all? Has it been like that before, or it just happened tonight?
It's like this for like a day or so.
So it happened what? The other night?
I don't know.
You don't know what happened. Were there guns around?
This kid Eric did it. I don't know how he did it exactly. I might have been shot. I don't know.
Ryan gets his blood pressure taken, and finally, after 56 minutes of unnecessary and ultimately deadly interrogation, he's taken to the hospital. Upon inspection at the hospital, doctors immediately realized his status was critical and that he also had indeed been shot in the eye.
See, when you don't have, I'll tell you this. When you don't know what you don't know, you think you know everything. When I was 19 years old, I thought I was smarter than everybody in the room. But guess what? I didn't know jack. It wasn't until I got to law school, really, that I realized it was humbling, because you looked at all the law books, and there's all these different types of law, right? There's medical malpractice, there's personal injury, there's corporate law, criminal law, civil law. Nobody can be, have all the law within them. You can be a good swimmer within the law, but you can't know. And guess what? There's the same thing in medicine. There's the same thing in engineering. There's the same thing in law enforcement, really. And so you have to know your limitations. And when you're a cop like this, and you don't know what's really going on, and you're really not equipped to diagnose a problem like this, you're apt to make mistakes. And it seemed like he delayed his medical treatment. So, he should have been seen by a doctor immediately.
They also told his father that he'd contracted an infection that could have been prevented had he received proper care. Ryan stayed at the hospital for 35 days and lost part of his brain and his left eye. Worst of all, though, he experienced regular seizures from the day he left the hospital until 2016, when one finally took his life. Richie and Larry were both given life in prison without the possibility of parole. Ryan's father also sued the police department, but as is so often the case, he only received a fraction of the punishment, less than 3 years in prison. Many people believe this officer should be charged with assault and possibly even murder, and that 3 years is absolutely not enough.
Think about that. Think about the liability of that officer. He that's negligence. That's criminal negligence, because so the young man dies because I know fucking everything and you're just fucking with us, blah, 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 blah. How tragic. How absolutely tragic. He had a clear injury to his eye. Why wouldn't you get that taken care of? What skin is it off of your fucking nose to not get that taken care of? There's no skin off your nose. You're still in custody. You can still make sure that he doesn't go anywhere. It's just... this is a pet peeve of mine with the education of cops. They're just undereducated, and they have tough jobs. They absolutely have tough jobs, and I do admire the bravery that you need to have as a cop, because they run into danger when we run out. But when you're in charge of somebody's life, when they're in your custody, you are in charge of their life. That kid has got no ability to go get his own medical care. You are the one that's responsible. And when you are sarcastic and unprofessional, and you deny him medical care that ultimately winds up taking his life, sleep with that motherfucker. I mean, that's just so ridiculous.
Especially compared to cases like Reed Duran's, who's facing up to 30 years in prison after attacking a cop. Reed was arrested at an elementary school after he was seen pretending to be the father of a kindergartner.
Okay, well, this guy's a little less sympathetic. First of all, you don't attack cops. Okay, don't attack cops. It's just not a good plan, because guess what? Every cop has a buddy. And another buddy, and another buddy. And they're all just right around the corner. And guess what they like to do? They like to thump on people. So don't. And second, another good rule of thumb is don't try to pick up kids that aren't yours. I mean, just don't hang out at the playground thinking, oh, that's really a cute kid. I think I'm going to take him home.
Reed was seen to be acting strangely around the kids and failed to correctly name any of the children there. So he was arrested and taken.
Oh, little Billy, yeah, that's my little nephew, Billy. Come on, Billy.
To the police station. In the interrogation, Reed freely told officers that he intended to lure one of the children out, feed them candy laced with tranquilizers, then abduct them while they were unconscious.
Well, let's just say that he's not going to be invited over to anybody's Thanksgiving anytime soon.
But after what seemed like an easy interrogation, Reed suddenly decided that the detective had heard enough and made a bid for his escape.
953, hey, unit up here. Put your hands behind your back now. Okay. You kidding me right now?
Are you fucking kidding me? You just self-snitched on yourself, so you're fucked, and now you decide to take off?
Reed had picked up a pen and attempted to stab the officer with it, but the officer's reflexes and composure helped him to instantly take him down and restrain him. That, and the fact that the pen isn't the most effective weapon, either.
I had a client in custody for stabbing his wife in the neck. And so while he's in custody, he did almost this exact same thing. For whatever reason, he thought that their badges were what triggered the door to open. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And so he takes the badge off and he's trying to get out with the badge, and it's not working. You have a little pad on the door, and usually it's the thing that, a card or something, whatever. And so then he takes a pencil and he's holding it to the deputy's neck, and this came into evidence at the trial. I mean, it never is going to work out for you because, number one, it's all on video because they've got cameras fucking everywhere. And number two, are you really think you're going to get away? It's just impossible to imagine the stupidity of these people.
Reed was arrested and charged with attempted kidnapping and now a felony count of assault. He's currently awaiting trial and facing up to 30 years in prison. Reed's escape obviously didn't end very well for him, but the story is...
When you're going for sentencing on a child kidnapping case and you've just assaulted a cop, you're not garnering sympathy with the court. In fact, I'd be shocked if he didn't get the statutory max.
It's different for Quantrell Schwartzlow, who managed to escape the cops faster than anyone in history. Quantrell was brought in for strangling a girl and assaulting her, a crime he clearly didn't want to be convicted of.
Sometimes it helps if you're going to try to escape to be athletic. Bye-bye. Oh, fuck. I just let him go.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately for Quantrell, his handcuffs were a dead giveaway, and he was
No, these are just bracelets. I got these for my anniversary.
captured 4 hours later. While it's unknown exactly what happens to Quantrell after, this clip will forever put him in the Interrogation Hall of Fame. However,
Actually, escape from custody like that's a fairly low-level felony. So it's probably, the assault that he was charged with is probably more serious than that.
Ricky Hawthorne took a much more straightforward approach to ending his interrogation, managing to confess in record time. Ricky was found covered in blood near the bodies of Lara Kuchar and Tommy Skeens. Lara had clearly been assaulted. Ricky's DNA was also found at the scene, so police had no worries when bringing him in. Surprisingly though, Ricky would make it even easier for them.
One of the things they do sometimes is they let you sit in an interrogation room by yourself. And they let you just... In Miranda, in other words, the warning that you have the right to an attorney, you can cease all questioning, blah, blah, blah. The Miranda warning is given when you're in custody and interrogation, like I said before. They have to initiate interrogation or try to initiate a response. It's always been my contention that letting somebody sit there by themselves, the isolation itself, is a form of initiating some kind of interrogation.
Hey, come on in.
Or eliciting a response.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah, I did it. I did. Didn't even ask him a fucking question. Yeah, I did it. I did it.
You know what? Let's do this.
I did it, but I think somebody came behind me and finished it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay. Does that sound believable? I did it, but...
So much for staying silent. However, Ricky is alleging that he wasn't actually the murderer. He just attacked the couple and assaulted Laura. It was someone else that finished the job.
Okay, I just sexually assaulted her and beat him up a little bit, but somebody else killed him.
Even though the evidence was stacked against him, he still would have had a better chance of getting away with it if he just stayed silent.
There's three more.
Just stayed silent. In other words, no self-snitching.
There's three more people. I don't know.
And you know what?
They was living when I left, but I think somebody came in behind me and finished them off. I did beat the shit out of them, but it was somebody else. I left.
Despite his claims, it was determined that the couple died of the injuries inflicted by Ricky, and he was later found guilty of the first and second degree murder, as well as the attack on Laura.
Well, he will definitely eat better than he had been because he was homeless. Anyway, so that's our little reaction to some of the most outrageous interrogation moments. Try not to get interrogated if you can avoid it. That's my general advice for you. And if you do get stopped by the cops, ask for a lawyer. The minute you ask for a lawyer, they have to cease all questioning. They cannot ask you any questions after that. If they do, it's suppressed as fruit of the poisonous tree. So I'm Bruce Rivers with our content genius, Michael Rivers. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer. You've seen these smash and grabs that you've seen them on the news, and you see like a cop at an Apple store. It just never. And all these retail outlets have amazing security. Like Target has former FBI guys heading up their security. And if you can't afford it, don't steal it.
Officers from the Marshfield Police Department in Wisconsin arrive at Walmart to look for a suspect actively stealing knives. The suspect is currently darting around to hiding spots inside the store as officers begin to search for him.
So right now we know somebody's stealing knives. What does that mean? That means the cop's gun is probably out already.
Blue jeans, camel backpack, and white shoes.
How are you guys today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
We're walking the store for now, looking for him. If you want to just stay by the exit.
I'm a Target guy. I'm not a Walmart guy. Walmart just seems like it's depressing. I don't know what it is.
If you want to just stay by the exits. I believe it's camel coat, blue jeans, white shoes, and a backpack.
How's the coat you standing up here?
Yeah. There are worse things though.
There is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Hi. Where is he?
He's still running around the store. He keeps running.
That's a typical Wisconsin guy. Yeah, there are worse things.
Running between out there to the back bathrooms, kitchen knives, and then back to sporting goods.
How old is this guy?
If I had to guess, probably mid-30s. Me and Ronnie tried stopping him.
If you're in your mid-30s and you're running from the cops inside a fucking Walmart, take a self-analysis check. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And why isn't my life just a little bit better that I'm not doing this? Honestly.
He tried stopping him, I want to say last month, and he actually shoved her into the breakaway doors, knocked him off the track when we went to approach him.
So camouflage coat or sweatshirt, or was it?
Like a jacket with a camo backpack on, blue jeans, white shoes.
What color is the coat? Camo?
Camo, yep. And then it's got a black hood.
Where was he last seen? Back by the bathrooms?
Yeah. And then he started snaking back up this way, and then I saw you guys.
Is there a way you can get out on the backside?
No, it'll just be out the front 2 doors.
So you have no idea on a name, though, huh? Just...
No.
Alright. Well, we'll stick with you if you want to try to find him, since we have no idea what he looks like.
Yeah.
There's 2 more waiting on the doors.
Hey.
So, generally, things that happen like this are either one of two things. Either they're, legitimate thieves and not good at what they do, or it's mental illness.
You might want to get back to the bathroom. Yeah.
Right here? Hey, come here. Stop.
Stop.
He's running.
What?
And the chase is on.
Going towards the salt exit.
Now, here's what happens. So the cops are chasing this guy, right? But he's on foot. In Minnesota, it's a misdemeanor to flee on foot, a felony to flee, in a motor vehicle. But what happens after this? You're going to get tackled, and you're going to do this, right? And then so now you also get an obstruction charge, and maybe even assault against an officer charge.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching. Oh.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your very own personal board-certified criminal defense lawyer, here to inform you, to entertain you, to enlighten you, to serve you. I serve at the pleasure of the viewer, the YouTube viewer, and that's you. So make sure you subscribe. And here's the deal. We've been having a little bit of an issue with views for some reason. So tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell your grandma in your basement. And let's get our views back up there. Today we're reacting to armed shoplifter rushes officer during an escape. Now, escaping is usually not a good idea because cops are generally younger than you or just at least stronger than you, and they're more armed than you, and they've got tasers and you don't have a taser generally, and or better just stay home, drink some white wine and have some popcorn and watch CLR Bruce Rivers. And but before we get to this is brought to you by AskALawyer.com. AskALawyer.com is a very effective way for you to get the advice of a lawyer for the low cost of $49. So if you have a dispute with a landlord, if you have any kind of legal issue coming up, you go to AskALawyer.com. AskALawyer.com, you get a living, breathing lawyer at your disposal. If you don't have a claim, they'll tell you. If you have a claim or if you're being sued or if you're suing somebody, they'll tell you the next steps and how to get there. And if you're doing your own legal research, they have AI that's trained on all the 50 states, so you can do your own thing there too. So for $49, not a bad bargain. AskALawyer.com. Okay, Grandma, did you hear me? AskALawyer.com. Okay, how did you think that was going to go? He's got nice jeans. His jeans look new. His tennis shoes look new. What do you sell those and buy your knives? Okay, it's you against how many cops? 3 or 4 at least? I mean, calm down, buddy. Just calm down.
Get his hands, make sure he doesn't have a knife.
One of the worst things that a cop can experience, almost worse than a gun, is a close encounter with a knife. Knives are inherently dangerous, and the thing about it is you can close the distance with a knife very fast. So that's why cops are so, you know, their dander is up when a knife's involved.
Sir, you okay?
Yep, I'm fine.
Get a handcuff on.
That guy is not in his mid-30s. That guy is not in his fucking mid-30s. That guy's got to be at least 50.
Get a handcuff on him.
Get his legs.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the guy in the gray hair. I'm looking at the wrong guy.
No.
Remember what I said? You know, once you start running, all of a sudden you're gonna have a close encounter of the violent kind.
Stop! Get behind your back now! Behind your back!
And if you're doing meth, you're not feeling the pain. You know, if you're all drugged up, you're not feeling the pain. You've got probably more energy than you normally would.
Is it? Yeah.
I got it. Let me know when.
Get him the legs!
He's here now!
Just another fun-filled day at Walmart. Hey, Ma, want to go down and see the wrestling matches at Walmart this evening? Well, why do they keep cutting to the fat guy? Yeah, I guess that's why I don't like Walmart. I mean, it's just depressing whenever you walk in there.
Tase him again!
Have any of you been tased? Have you? I've not been tased. I've had I did a ride along with the cops and we smelled the mace once, and that was not pleasant. And all I did was smell it. It was in a cup, and that was not pleasant.
Stop resisting!
What you worry about here, or at least I worry about here, is that, you know, this guy's on something, or something happens here where, you know, you put a restraint hold on him and you hold him too long, and all of a sudden you got a, you know, Floyd situation.
Keep it in your back. His hands out in front here.
Listen to these guys breathe heavy. You know, when you're in this close combat, you know, man-on-man situation, it doesn't take long before you're tuckered out. You know, you see these guys who do like UFC and that kind of stuff. You get real people in real situations like this, it doesn't take much. And this guy is strong. You know, for him to take on these three guys and have them all have as much trouble with him as they're having.
Right here.
Are you done?
Try to get this other.
Stop.
I'm sorry, but is there a reason why you're recording?
Now, this is not George Floyd. This is, remember what happened with George Floyd? George Floyd was, the cop's knee was on his neck for 9 minutes and 46 seconds. And he wasn't resisting. I mean, he might have at first, and then they took him down, and then, but not 10 minutes on your fucking neck. You know how long it takes to suffocate you? 4 minutes.
You okay?
Yeah, you okay, sir? Okay.
You just hang around so we can get your name? It'll be a few minutes.
This is called hog tying. They're going to hog tie this mother. You know, once you do something like this, you demonstrated to the cops that you're not going to comply. And so they can't trust you. So if they take your feet and handcuff them to your legs or, you know, zip tie them, you can't really do much.
Don't even think about moving. All right, you injured? So we're rolling the squad up. Are you done fighting?
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it.
Is there any weapons on you? Where?
My bag.
But in your pockets or sweatshirt?
No.
We'll stand you up and walk to the squad, okay?
So keep in mind, it probably was a misdemeanor stealing a knife from Walmart, unless it's like over $500. To engage with these cops like this is definitely a felony.
Do you have anything on you I need to know about?
No.
Any weapons?
No.
All right. You done? Up in the car, we're gonna deal with that stuff in the ER, okay?
I knew he took one of the cheap knives and then the knife that was in his hand. He was pocketing other stuff. I'm not 100% sure what it was. It was a lot of small stuff.
Cheap knife? What do you mean by that? Like kitchen knife or something?
Yeah, so we have like really cheap kitchen knives. They're like,
you got that.
It's a misdemeanor. You know, okay, well, yeah, you got me. Write me a ticket and I'll be on my way. Instead, you try to take off. And, you know, I see this all the time where people, you know, they'll be driving down the street and they'll have a, they won't have a driver's license and they'll get pulled over for that. And then they fucking take off from the cops. What's the old adage? You know it. Go ahead and say it. Say it with me. Never commit a felony to avoid a misdemeanor.
I'm sorry if I was interfering.
No. We appreciate good Samaritans like you.
At the jail, officers search the suspect's belongings for the stolen knives and other items from Walmart.
Thank God for that old guy.
Yeah, he's good people.
Sharpener?
Scissor, sharper. We thought there was 2 knives.
Well, there was one there.
That big one, yeah. This is that one, right?
I'm not sure. The only one I saw was up against the...
I saw one very similar to that. I believe it was that one come flying across the room.
After searching his belongings, the suspect is taken to the hospital to get medically cleared, and officers use this time to question him about his intentions.
You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand each of these rights I have explained to you? Yeah. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now?
Sure.
Okay. Obviously, you're in Walmart. You admitted to the doctor before while I was standing outside that you'd been there shoplifting. Do you know how many items you grabbed, or? 2. What are you going to do with them anyway?
I just took alcohol and a knife.
Alcohol and a knife?
Yeah.
Okay. But what was the knife for?
Protection.
Okay.
See, there's something more going on here. And that's why, you know, just putting this guy in jail doesn't help anybody. You know, clearly this guy's disturbed. I mean, he either doesn't have money or, you know, there's a reason he's doing this. And the fact that he thinks he needs a knife for protection tells me there's some more mental health stuff going on. Oh, and by the way, this is brought to you by Midwest Safety, not EWU, although we like them too. So give Midwest Safety a little love.
Okay. Is there somebody that's been coming after you or threatening you?
No, I just grabbed it.
Okay. So the thing that I was concerned with, honestly, is because, like, I know you're homeless and I knew you kind of been through that rigmarole. The thought that I had in my mind is, like, you were going to resort to even worse crimes, like robbing people. Was that not the case? You're just more concerned about protection?
Yeah, I wasn't going to rob nobody.
Is there anybody that we need to be specifically worried about hurting you?
No.
Okay. What kind of alcohol did you take?
Fireball.
Okay. Were you planning on hurting yourself at all with the knife?
No. It crossed my mind, I guess.
I would like to get you help for it, if that's the case. Would you be willing to talk to Crisis at all? Obviously, it wouldn't affect what would happen tonight, but...
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk to him tonight while we're here?
It don't matter. I'll be alright.
Well, I genuinely want you to do better so that we don't have to have these interactions again. I don't think tonight was positive for anybody. I don't think it was good for you. It definitely wasn't fun for us. I'll do whatever I can.
Some cops think it would be fun for them. They love putting their hands on people. We've seen a couple of those videos where like the guy who shot the lady when he thought she was going to pour hot water on him. This cop seems like he's doing the right thing, you know, recognizing that, you know, you ever hear of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? You can't get to another level unless you have the basic needs met. Your food, clothing, shelter. You know, you can't get self-actualized. And by that, I mean become the person you're supposed to be, with higher ideals and, spiritual and get all of that. You can't do anything until those basic needs are met. So if you're sitting there struggling for your next meal, you're on the street, you can't function in society.
I can, with the resources that I'm given to make sure that you get the help that you need, and we don't have to do this again, because I really don't want to see you in this situation again. Because what's crossing my mind when I'm dealing with somebody that just stole a knife from Walmart and they're trying to run out past me, it's like, well, what else are they going to do? Are they going to stab me? That's a serious concern for us. I'm not saying stealing alcohol is not a big deal, because honestly, when you steal from the store, it jacks prices up for everybody else, and times are tough already, and you know that. But like stealing a knife, stealing a weapon, that kind of gets to a whole new level. Right. And it really, like when I hear that going up to a call, it makes me super concerned right off the.
This is a nice cop. This is a good cop. This is the way you talk to people.
The bat. I'd prefer to figure out what's going on with you and get you the actual help that you need. So if you're willing to talk to him, I'll call him. Like I said, it's not changing anything tonight, but like in the future, maybe you'll have some resources from them that you can actually kind of fix the problems that are going on and put you in a better situation. I'll give him a call. Have you ever dealt with crisis before?
No.
Hey, so I'm out here with Seth. Told him that I wanted to reach out to some resources and have him talk to you. So I'm going to hand the phone over to him. I'm just going to put it on speaker. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Here, I'll sit on your lap then, all right?
Oh.
Some privacy.
Walmart surveillance footage shows the suspect attempting to run out of the store as he's being pursued by police. As he gets to the door, the officer waiting there stops him in his tracks, and the Good Samaritan begins to help immediately, along with the...
The older dude, brave, not necessarily all that smart. I was in a situation a couple of weeks ago at a birthday party, and a person that I was with got involved in a fight between two other people. Honestly, let the professionals handle it. You don't know if this guy's going to fucking stab them or you. They're armed, you're not, typically. And, but, hats off to the Good Samaritan. I think that's the same guy that walked in and said, could be worse.
The officer who was pursuing close behind him. The large knife can be seen falling out of the suspect's backpack due to the struggle, and the interaction continues.
I mean, look at this. This older dude falls on the ground. All he has to do is hit his fucking head and die. And guess what happens if that happens? Then this young man is on the hook for felony fucking murder. Why is that? Because he's committing a felony in the store. And during the course of the felony, somebody dies. He may not have intended to, but it certainly could happen.
As seen in the body cam footage, the suspect was charged with retail theft, disorderly conduct, resisting an officer, carrying a concealed knife, habitual criminality, and felony resisting an officer causing injury. He is innocent unless proven guilty in a court of...
See, look at it. All these are fucking misdemeanors, except for the, confrontation with the cops. And guess what a misdemeanor is? 90 days in jail, see you later. And probably no jail.
Of law.
There's something you never forget in patrol, and that's when a simple call explodes into something you barely can control. Now, a shoplifter on the run doesn't sound like much, right? Until suddenly you've got multiple cops, a suspect who won't quit, and even an older man who gets tangled in the fight. The officer's tunnel vision locks him to the runner, but so does everyone else's curiosity. Now, the taser deployment in this situation does force us to ask some hard questions. But how many times can an officer pull the trigger before it stops being effective and starts looking excessive to the public? And if a suspect fights through shock after shock, does it mean that the taser failed, or does it mean his body is so amped up on adrenaline or drugs that he's beyond normal control? But for me, this is the hardest one. How do you balance the need to stop the struggle right now with the risk of inflicting serious harm by sending electricity through a man's body again and again? And training drills always show the clean version: quick takedown, cuffs on, suspect secured. But when reality hits, why does it always feel like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu match in the middle of the street? Because it's rarely neat and polished when arresting people. And I've been there also. You're hanging onto one arm, your partner's got the other, and suddenly someone from left field decides to grab them like they're part of the team. Now, the bravery is commendable, but always remember you can truly get hurt getting involved. So my question is, when you see even the elderly getting involved, what type of strain are the people sworn to hold the line truly under?
That's just it. You got a situation where you don't know what that guy has on him. You don't know what he's going through. And especially if you're a little bit older, you might be a little more frail. So you're better off not getting, especially when you got 3 or 4 cops involved, But what is it? It's somebody's natural instinct to help, that's what we do. It always amazes me when somebody, when they're facing a misdemeanor, they commit a felony, much worse crime. and what are you doing? I mean, that could wind you up in prison, especially if you're on the hook for something else already. So that's our little reaction to armed shoplifter rushes officer during escape. I have to say it again. I wouldn't give you 2 fucking plug nickels to be a cop. With the shit that they deal with, my hat's off to them, because they just deal with the dregs of our society, and rarely do they get, pat on the back or they're always dealing with shit. And why are they dealing with shit? Because they're the ones we call, right? So they're stealing X, Y, and Z. We'll call the cops. They're breaking into my house. Call the cops. Oh, there's somebody dead on my doorstep. Call the cops. Happened to a buddy of mine, actually. So the point is, just stay home, drink your white wine, and have your popcorn. Unless you're homeless and need a knife and a warm place to stay for the night, because obviously they gave him a nice warm place to stay. Although jail cells tend to be cold and drafty. So that's our reaction. We'll see you next time here at Criminally Reacts. Make sure you go to CLRBruceRivers.com just for all your merch needs. Sign up for Patreon. Sign up for subscribe. Follow us on Facebook.